Hi folks, Chris here. I've got a technique tip for you today about picking. So if we start with just downstrokes. So this is probably where everyone starts, just downstrokes. The problem with just downstrokes, or just upstrokes as well, is that every time you want to reset, you have to come over the string. So I go down, and then to get back to the next note, I have to come up and over the string and go back down again. So the obvious solution to this, and probably the most common style of picking, is alternate picking. That means you just pick every time you go across the string. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, alternating between down and up strokes. And that allows you to get very fast, because as fast basically as you can move your pick back and forth is as fast as you can play the notes. Now this works really well if you've got 4 notes per string, for example. So 4 notes per string, just moving up a little chromatic pattern. Now, if I move from the low string up to the high E string, but I start on an upstroke, I run into the same issue that I had with the downstrokes only, in that every time I change strings, I have to jump over the next string before I start. So that looks like this. It's a lot less fluid than if you're going, for example, from the top strings down using upstrokes. Because when I'm coming from the top strings down using the upstrokes, every string that I move to, I'm already moving in that direction. So I don't have to go over and then back. One solution to this, and something that I've been playing around with recently, is economy picking. So with economy picking, instead of sticking rigidly to up, down, up, down, up, down, every time you move a string, you use whatever stroke that would happen naturally if you are moving in that direction. So if I'm moving from the low E string in this direction, I'm going to use a downstroke because that's the direction I'm going in. If I'm moving from the high E string back this way, then I'm going to use an upstroke because that's the direction I'm going in. So it's the same as what happens naturally if you're playing 4 notes per string. For example, moving from the high E string in this direction, starting on the upstroke. As I said before, that's really smooth. But if we switch to, for example, 3 notes per string, then we get something like this. So with alternate picking, that would be down, down, and then on the next string, up, up, and I'd have to jump over. But with economy picking, it's simply down, down, up, down on the next string, down, on the next string, and so on. And I never have to jump over a string before I play it. So I've been using this exercise. It's not a scale, it's just 3 notes straight up and down. It's more of an exercise to help to practice that and build up speed. So that looks something like this. And so you might notice there that I'm playing 3 notes per string and I'm playing it as triplets. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like this. Once you've got that down, I'd recommend trying to play it as quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or simply try to not have any accents in there at all. So you're just playing smoothly straight through. So that might sound something like this. So if you can get triplets and 16th notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll be able to cover most things with that. The next step after that would be to practice this with your 3 note per string scales. So for example, A major scale, all of your other modes. I like the Locrian because it's repeating patterns. And the final step would be to sort of practice this moving up and down the scales randomly. So personally for me, this has been a bit of a revelation. I found it much easier and smoother for me to play using this economy picking than straight alternate picking. It suits my style of playing better. I find it easier to move up. Naturally my pick slants back when I hold the pick rather than forwards. So that means it's easier to go this way. But even going this way, I find it a lot easier to use the economy picking than straight alternate picking. Alternate picking is great for certain things. It's very rigid and it keeps a time structure probably more easily than economy picking. But economy picking for me is much smoother and it feels more natural and flowing. So have a play around with that. It might suit you, it might not. Everyone's got their own sort of styles and preferences. For me, it's helped me to, I feel like, express myself much more smoothly. Things come out naturally for me more with the economy picking than straight alternate picking. So give it a try, see if you like it. I hope it's helpful to some of you at least. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon with another tip.